miles on the Gulf Stream, I hear the south wind moan. The bridge is getting lower, the shrimp boat's coming home. The old man down in the corner slowly turns his head, takes a sip from his whiskey bottle, and this is what he said. I was born in the rain on the Pontoon train underneath the Louisiana moon. I don't mind the strain of a hurricane, they come around every June. The high black water, a devil's daughter, she's hard, she's cold, and she's mean. But nobody taught her it takes a lot of water to wash away New Orleans.
Today's sponsor is Veryeah. We're going to go over this in detail. During this episode, I'm going to talk about this a lot because it is one of the most versatile power packs that I've come across, and the way that they have everything broken into power bricks or AC bricks, or they even have electric cooking. It makes it so you can go take a tent camping, take it for a weekend cabin, take it off grid, take it in a boat. It's just, you only have to buy one setup and you can take it with you everywhere. So it's very practical, and then the amount of actual electricity that comes out of here is shocking. So we're going to go over this a couple times in the episode because I think this is a very viable option for people living off grid, especially if you do a couple different things. Like if you like to go camping and then you stay off grid in a cabin, or if you like to go boating but then you like tent camping, this is one of the things that's going to be really great for you. There's a barge coming. You know, a lot of people see these barges as slow or not very quick to maneuver, but I've actually seen them in emergency situations, and number one, they're not slow. If they're going with the current and with the wind, you know, they can get up over almost 10 miles an hour, which is pretty quick to move that kind of weight. The other thing is, I've seen them swerve around boats where there's either a disabled boat or someone jumps out of a creek when they're not ready for it, and they can turn that thing on the drop of a dime. They can also stop faster than you would think. For most boats, stopping's an issue. Like flooring in a reverse in a 10,000 pound boat doesn't really slow it down very much, but with those props that they have on those boats, they can actually slow it down really quick. It's kind of amazing how maneuverable they are. So he just cut his speed to quarter speed. He dropped off 75% of his speed to drop his wake while he passes by me. Yeah. Very cool. Good captain. So your best bet is to steer directly into it within 30 degrees on or off of it when you cross a big wake like that. Taking it broadside would make stuff fall off of the shells, and the boat would be fine, but a lot of stuff would fall off. Or I basically didn't stow anything before I left this morning. So now we're back on course, and the duck is right up here. We're gonna go right up here to the right into this little cove, and I'm hoping that that'll provide some shade 60% of the day. We'll see. So we are gonna have to be really cautious about pulling in here. Last time I was here, there was a lot more water. There was no beach. So I mean, you can see the catfish traps are showing now, and though I didn't see them last time. You know, a lot of people would say that's a problem, but I think it's kind of good. Now I can see a huge obstruction. You hit a concrete block like that with your motor, it's going to do damage. So my thought is, it may just be that we're not going to be able to do anything about it, but if I'm there, I might get shade from like noon on when it gets the hottest during the day. But we'll see. I'm going to go in here and see how shallow it is. There's a nice breeze, and I'm going to stay out here until that goes away. It's not going to go away for a few hours, so. Then my plan is to take the dinghy in here and see where we can get to. It looks like to be a little nook that you can go around right there. It's got to be too shallow for the boat to get in there, but if it can, there's got to be shade in there. The other option is anywhere along this beach right here, because the sun is basically, I mean, maybe 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, it'll start hitting right here. Give me some shade. Yeah. But either way, this is going to be just amazing for sunrises. I'll probably do a time lapse with sunrise because it's right off the back of the boat. It'll look awesome. So, but I'm going to open up the doors and let the cat and dog get out here on the deck and enjoy the breeze and finish my coffee. You hear River? You can come out, buddy. Some hunting season has definitely started. So, a couple episodes ago I talked about how pontoons are really hard to sink, and I have had a couple people reach out to me who are doing houseboat builds, and they were talking about what type of pontoon, this and that. So I wanted to elaborate on that. There's 3 different types of pontoons. One is, there's 2 of them just have drain plugs in the back of them, and so you'll only find on one pontoon, you'll only find 1 drain plug, and it'll be in the lower back of the pontoon. When that's the case, you have one of 2 types of pontoons of tune. One is foam filled, where the floating and even the structure is from foam. Those are just wrapped in metal because the foam doesn't like to be sitting in the sun, and if you get gasoline on foam, it'll disintegrate the foam immediately. So, and there's a couple other materials that just disintegrate foam. But if you wrap it in metal, the foam is holding the metal around it. The structural part is coming from the foam. And then at the bottom, they drill out the whole section of the pontoon, and it will, when you put the pontoon up like this and you take the drain pipe out, the drain plug out, it'll drain. So if there's any water in there, it basically is condensation typically, but if there is any water in there, it'll come out. Now, as far as sinking that pontoon, even if you cut the whole length of the pontoon of the metal, the floating's coming from the foam, and it would take years for that foam to wear away or disintegrate where water could replace it in the tank, right? Now, the other one is same drain plug, but there's baffles every 3 feet inside of the pontoon, and those baffles don't come all the way down. They leave it about 1 inch or 2 gap at the bottom of the pontoon where water can drain out to the drain plug. Now, in order to sink that, you would have to have a hole in the bottom of the pontoon and then a hole at the top of each baffled section. If you had just a hole at the top of one, that baffle would fill, but the other 3 or the other 5 wouldn't fill. So you'd still float, you still wouldn't have trouble, and you'll see these boats on docks where it's just not sitting right, regardless of how many people you put in it. They still use them all summer, and then they take them out and they drain them at the end of summer. Now, that's the kind of thing that you would see where you would say, well, there's something wrong with the pontoon, but it's not going to sink, you know. The other kind is mine, where the only drain, I don't have any drain plugs at the bottom. I have drain plugs at the top, and there's 5 of them, and they're in 5 different sections all the way down the pontoon. So in order to drain it out, you don't have to take it out of the water. It's meant to be on a dock or in a lake and not have to be trailered out to be serviced that way. You open up the top, you suck it out with a pump, you fill it, and you put the top down in. Now, in order to make this one sink, you would have to have all the drain plugs out or a hole at all the top, and then have a hole in each section. The water can't travel from one section to the other. So you'd have to have 5 holes at the bottom and 5 holes at the top. So for me, the ones that are the most reliable are the ones that have the drain plugs on the top and not at the bottom in the back. And then you can see how many sections there are by counting the drain plugs. So to me, the way they design them is basically like a submarine or like the Titanic, where there's just sections that don't allow water to go in it. So you might have a failed compartment or 2 failed compartments, but you would realize that way before it had affected the buoyancy of the boat. So now I finished my coffee and I am going to take the dog to that beach. Now, we woke up on an island a few miles downriver, and River and Cricket played on the beach this morning before we left. But I really want to figure out if that's too shallow for me to go to, or if I can just pull up and hide from the sun right there. So we're going to go over there with a dinghy.
Cover me when I walk alone, and cover me when my stance it stumbles home, and cover me, we'll trip on through the sands of time, and cover me, 'cause I've been branded and lost my mind, yeah, lost my mind, yeah, won't you cover me, yeah, won't you give me shelter from the storm.
And then we also have the fancy 100% reliable under 4 feet depth meter too. And we're at 3 feet. As long as it's not more than 4 feet deep, this depth meter has always steered me correctly. It's kind of muddy. Let's see. So we are a good 30 feet from shore, and we only have that much depth. So what would happen? I mean, basically, if my boat was here and the water dropped overnight, we'd be sitting on the ground. We gotta find a little deeper approach. We could stay here during the day and it would be great as long as we were awake and we didn't leave too many hours away from the boat. We can use this for shade during the day or what have you, but at night we're gonna have to pull back out and anchor. You wouldn't want to leave the boat in such a shallow approach. And that's what happens when you hit ground with your outboard motor. So we need to pull it up. Put that lever right there. Alright. So, my propeller is scuffed up enough as it is that I'm not really worried about hitting ground anymore, as long as it's not breaking the motor. I've actually run into ground full speed in this boat, and because it's a inflatable boat and flexible, the motor will pop out of the water by bending the boat. It's kind of a cool thing. Whereas if you were in a John boat or a ski boat, you would have broke your motor. But when I first got this thing, I would always paddle into shore, and the bolt broke on this. So lately I've been driving the motor into shore, and I need to stop doing that. That's what I need to do. I need to fix that. There's our home. Right there. Alright, well, we got at least 3 feet of depth right here. Oh, even more. It's opening up. So this is a little creek. So we're going to go all the way down and around this because you can see that sand peak comes out. Ah, there's not. Look at the catfish cage is already showing. There's no way we'll be able to get back in there. Yep. This pot's a no-go. Yeah, that's muddy. Get in the boat. It's just all mud. And mud comes with no-see-ums. And no-see-ums ruin the day. They ruin the day. Even if you don't notice them that day, they ruin the night when the bug bites start to itch. It's brutal. See how we already touched ground too? That's not good. Alright, let's go back to the boat. Look at the barge behind our boat.
Early in the morning when the sun does rise, laying in the bed with bloodshot eyes. Late in the evening when the sun sinks low, that's about the time my rooster crows. I got women up and down this creek and keep me going and my engine clean. Run me ragged but I don't fret.
It's 11:30 now, and it's already starting to get hot in the boat, even with the wind. So we're gonna go look. I'm gonna take the dinghy over to those 2 shade spots right there and see what we got here. All right, so it's deep water all the way in here. I mean, I can't touch bottom with my oar 10 feet out. So this is a perfect place to put the boat. And the sandbar from there, and then there's a sandbar that comes out this way, will block any waves coming in here from that direction. Any waves that accumulate, there's no boats in here because it's 4 feet deep or 3 feet deep. But any waves that accumulate from the water or from the wind have to break off of this beach. Right over here. Right there. So there's not going to be any waves unless a boat goes by. So, and we already have shade the whole beach right here. Probably going to move that log, but other than that, I'm going to hang out here for a little bit with River, see if I see anything crazy, and then go get the houseboat, put it right here. We're getting a nice breeze coming through here. This is a good spot. I'm excited.
May the devil in Oklahoma head as black as the night. He said he came from North Dakota, wanna take me on a ride. This one came to visit me, he said that's just what he does. May the devil in Oklahoma, he knew who I was. I've been sitting on a riverbank praying in Jesus' name to come and save my soul. Found no time or the river on.
I like this solution better than any other solution when it comes to portable power, and I want to tell you why. Number one, the power brick, when you get it alone, it'll run your laptop, it'll run anything off a USB up to 18 watts. Yeah, 18 watts on USB. And then USB-C, it'll run up to 100 watts. And then I'm going to show you in this video how quickly it charges. That's one of the biggest factors. The less time you have to run your generator, the faster these things recharge, the better off you are in the long run as far as spending time. Hey, we're done. You're done. Bad dog. Stop it. bad dog. No. Alright. The amount of time it takes to charge is amazing, and I'm going to show you how.
1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000.
A couple different ways to charge it. One, solar. Another, you can plug it into a car, a cigarette outlet, or a 12-volt charger. The other one is you can just plug it into your generator and through a 120, and it'll charge. The whole thing will charge in 4 hours, but if it's a lot less, if you're just charging from 70% or what have you, it goes up at 1/10 of a battery per second. You can actually count it. That every single second, so 10 seconds go by and it goes from 69 to 70. It's insane how fast this thing will charge with the partial charging. I have been able to watch 3 days having this laptop on. Let me show you this. A lot of people frown on me watching Netflix or watching movies or what have you. I'm not on a weekend vacation. I'm not on a 2-week vacation. There are days where it's 95 degrees outside and the sun is out and I'm going to sit in the air conditioner and watch Netflix. When I did that before, I would have to use my phone because I couldn't power this tablet. This is a DVD player and a tablet touchscreen. So it takes a lot of electricity, but it will run for almost forever off of this battery. And by forever, I mean I watched maybe 3 seasons of Dexter and 2 movies, and it took 3 or 4 days to get through all of that, and I just had it playing in the background for a long time. Now, I'm going to show you some interesting things about cooking from here. It does power an actual skillet or saucepan, and it will boil water super fast. We're going to show you that because I make coffee from it in the morning now. It basically takes a little bit less than 8 minutes to boil as much water as I need for my coffee. And the power that you use to make French press coffee like this out of the 1000 amp hour brick starts at 92.5 here. And after the boiling water is done, we're just down to 83.1. And then I'm going to show you how it comes in components too. One of the best parts is you can tie a bunch of these together. This is a 1008 amp hour battery. It's 20 pounds, 8 inches, 6 inches. And you can double them up. You can get 4 or 5 or 6 together to power more. The other thing is, other than the USB and the hookups in the back, everything is modular. So if you want a inverter for 120, it's a different box like this. I got 12 volt because everything runs off at 12 volt for me, but it also has the little plugs to charge things too. And then this is a jumper cable for your jumping a battery if you needed to. I run fans off of it, which is why I have that. Cricket, come on, get over here, get out of there. I like the fact that it has the modules because you can these are around 70 bucks. And if something goes wrong with them, that's it. That's all you have to replace. You don't have to buy a whole new unit. The other thing is almost all of the adaptable boxes or bricks are right around 70 bucks. Some are a little more, some are a little less, but like this type of thing, you know, if you want to do an addition, it's a $70 upcharge. It's not anything insane. The bricks themselves are actually cheaper than a 1000-watt all-in-one brick that you take everywhere else. So to me, the whole setup is a better process. But in order to save you guys some money on buying any part of this, I will have a link in my description and the comments for you to save money on buying the actual unit or anything that's part of this setup here. You can use my promo code and it'll save you some money. As well, anytime you get a sale is a good time to buy them too. Last thing I'm going to mention about it, River, don't go over there. He's acting hyper. He wants to go. There was a snake just a minute ago. I'll show you. Absolutely the biggest water moccasin I've seen ever. that thing, it's huge. There can't be a water moccasin. It's got to be some kind of rattlesnake or something. Look how big it is. Dude, it's huge. I want it to see me. River, bark, speak. All right, calm down, buddy. You're good. It's changed its mind. It's the biggest one I've ever seen. But I want to tell you, just grabbing it and using my USB plug for my phone has allowed me to edit the entire video sitting on the beach here in my rocking chair and not have to turn on the generator or even do anything. And one of the biggest draws for my phone is when I sit down for 3 hours with the screen on high, the volume on high, connected to a Bluetooth speaker, doing not only the sound editing but the software editing and the video editing. It makes it so my phone is drawing a lot of energy, and I haven't had to stop or pause or walk away from it because it is pulling as much juice as it needs to. So even if you're just sitting on the beach, or if you're a YouTube editor or what have you, this is another option. It's a really good option for you. The whole time I've owned him, we've been traveling by boat or RV. He's never had a yard. I've never told him get in the yard or stay in the yard. He can just go as far as the eye can see. Go get your frisbee, buddy. Hurry up. It's drifting away in the current. Yeah. Ooh, it's deep there. He's reaching for the ground too. There he goes. He wasn't trying to swim. He was trying to walk. He does that a lot. When you can't reach and then he jumps, he's going to go roll in the sand and then just lay in my bed when we get back. That's what's going to happen. I mean, that's what happens. See? He's awesome. But he's going to shake off, so a quarter of the sand won't be in the bed. Oh, man. That's got to feel good. Let's see if he grabs his frisbee. Oh, no, of course. Oh, no. He's not done with his sand bath. Well, we just made it through a 90-degree day without turning on the air conditioning. I'm going to take River. I want to show you guys what I've been working on for the past 2 weeks. It's right over here. We're going to go out onto the Tennessee River and do a U-turn. And it's right over here. And I'll show you. Get in the boat. Get in the boat. a good boy.
Still my mind, Lord, I can't stop thinking. I made myself at home in the quicksand sinking. Less is more, baby, show me the door, love. Ease my mind, but my body's still shaking. Make myself at home in the quicksand sinking.
Okay. If you look real close, I am working for a friend of mine building that house. And here is going to be a video of me. What are you freaking out about? Is there something in the boat? Hold on. What are you smelling? Is there something under the boat? Well, that's creepy. Don't do that kind of shit. He's got me spooked. Alright, so I'm going to show you a video of me working that roof, looking down at this river. So this is all going to be cement. And then this is the Duck River going into the Tennessee River. Right there. That's their view. Master bedrooms right there. And then all the big open windows. Floor to ceiling windows. It's going to be really gorgeous when this house comes together. Working just 20 hours a week, picking up some extra money, and I think it's really cool to be on the river with my houseboat looking up at a house. It's an 800-acre hill that they own, and they cleared off the top of the hill to build that house right there. It's pretty cool. Really great guys. And I'm working with a really good crew. I'm learning a lot. We're going to grill some potatoes with the pork chops. We're going to slice these into wedges, and we're going to use some lemon pepper, crushed red pepper, salt, and some garlic pepper. And the main thing that we're going to put on here is some chili oil. So that gives it a little kick while it grills on the grill. Alright, so we're going to throw these on the grill with the pork chops. So I got these for $5. I'm going to cook both of them tonight, but I'm only going to eat one. And then tomorrow, probably for dinner or lunch, we'll have that. River and I will split it.
The cold of the night, the warmth of your hands hold. Held in your arms, the hole in my head grows whole. And I don't wanna die alone, but I don't wanna die at all.
Look how big this thing is. I had to put River inside. He's pretty far from the boat, but I still want him to keep going. Look at that shit. Keep going, bud. That's why they're called cottonmouth. When they show their mouth out like that. See? Keep going, bud. No, I'll be real honest with you. They don't learn. He's not going to not come back this way. This is his normal haunt. But man, he's big. Whew. River. River. It's a big guy. Alright, so this is just proof that you're better off. You know, even though I get scared and I don't think and I just start throwing rocks at snakes and shit. Look at, I told you, it hasn't even been 20 minutes. I've been sitting in my chair editing and he's already coming back this way. It's ingrained in him to hunt along right here, right? So the best thing I can do is just let him go by, you know? Or kind of watch where he goes on land, too. That's another one. If he's coming up to flank me, that's a weird one, too. I'll go check him out in a minute. But in reality, your best bet is just to let them just go by, and then they move on. There's nothing here for them to eat, so we'll see. Easily the biggest snake, biggest water moccasin cottonmouth I have ever seen. Easily. And the reason they call him a cottonmouth, oh, he's hiding. He doesn't want me to know I'm there. He doesn't want me to know he's there. I'm just kicking the rocks on the ground towards him. He doesn't care. They don't ever want to leave. There he goes. He's a big guy. Ooh. Coming after me. He wins. Here's the thing about it. They only go 4 or 5 miles an hour, so it's not going to catch me. I mean, I could turn around and run away, but it is clearly not afraid of me at all.